And Dave, do you want to do this or do you want me to?
I'm happy to do it.
Okay.
Sure, I have my pen. Okay, Mayor, we're recording.
All right, great. This is the mayor manager meeting of October 5th, and in the Teams meeting is Linda Olson, Krista Gravy, and Jade Truscott-Reed, Stephanie Carlisle, and Tamara Niles. Nathaniel Sierra is on his way into the Teams meeting in just a few minutes, and Manager Lewis and Assistant Manager Dodd are out at a conference, so we're going to do this ourselves.
All righty. I'll go ahead and get started off with October 11th. We have starting with, well, not starting, but we do have the overview of the city's snowplow and ice removal, an overview of the city's curb-to-curb street sweeping program, the sewer 2022.
Can you enlarge it just a little bit more?
Yeah.
The side panel, but thank you.
Is that
helps? Thanks.
Is that better?
Yep.
Okay.
That's better.
Awesome.
Is it okay for you all?
Yes. Yes.
All right.
Thanks.
So an overview of the city's curb-to-curb street sweeping, the sewer 2022 cost of service rates. Perfect. This actually will be getting moved. So let me go ahead and just refresh this page really quick.
This is the, all the new equipment we're getting in council chambers, and
We're not quite ready, are we?
no, there's just, we're on the home stretch and they are making great progress, but there's been several product delays that are like the rest of the world, that are having delays on getting things in. And so I met with the IT team yesterday to try to troubleshoot that. And so we kind of wanted you to weigh in, but the worst thing I feel like we could do is rush it, have it on the agenda and it not quite be ready.
Yeah, I think let's do it. We're ready. It's going to be frustrating.
Yeah, I know. And I just want to make sure, if we're going to do the training for council. So one thing I did throw out is that we are already doing a big council orientation on November 8th, in between the election and then people being sworn in. So all departments are doing a big orientation for council. And then we were going to possibly adopt just doing that new training there, and then have the first meeting back in council chambers November 15th, which is the big kind of procedural day of old council kind of leaving and then new council being sworn in. We could push that up if we needed to, but I just wanted to make sure we gave them enough space to, we'll make anything work. I wanted to see what your thoughts were on that.
It might be nice to get the kinks worked out of it for one meeting before we're trying to do so many other things.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Really confusing night in general for people who are brand new, and you'll have a new mayor. And it might be nice just to get the kinks out of it, but if it's not ready, it's not ready. So.
Well, do you want to tentatively plan for the training to be on the 25th and with the go live meeting on the November 1st? Do you want
to do a dry run together in there? So
okay, we're gonna shoot for that. Yeah, and then if we get any updates that it's just really not going to be ready, then we'll push it. So let's shoot for that. Okay, thank you for that.
Sure.
Perfect. So I have that updated in there. Rounding out the 11th, we have an update on backflow prevention and cross-connection control, as well as a proclamation review for the recognition of the planners in community development. So the only new item that we've had added is the update to the backflow prevention and cross-connection control program. We currently have a time of 5 to 10 minutes for the presentation. Would you like to go ahead and add discussion time for that?
Okay. It says we'll present a PowerPoint discussion time 5 to 10. So that really is the PowerPoint time, not the discussion, right? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know. So is this a big deal? It's only 5 to 10 minute presentation. It's informational, isn't it?
It is.
I think maybe 10 minutes of questions.
Okay.
But let's go back up. We haven't done all of the times on these, have we?
We have done them for the other ones, I believe.
Presentation 20 minutes. Okay, just that one we don't have.
Yep. So
That's
this
the
guy.
sewer.
Oops, sorry, am I going too quick?
No. The other ones we did, but then this one we didn't.
Okay.
20 minutes of power. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just saying there's a lot of wording on that one, so it's hard to see it. Yeah, I do think we need to assign discussion time for that one.
How much do we have so far? Can we go back up and start adding it up?
Yes, of course. So we have a 15-minute presentation and 10-minute discussion for snow plowing and ice removal. Same 10-minute and 15-minute for the curb-to-curb street sweeping. 20-minute presentation for this guy. Yep, and we do not have that one. And then we did update this one. So we did, I believe I have it set to, yep, 10-minute presentation, 2-minute discussion, and then proclamation review, which will go into mayor's choice.
Okay. I would just say on the other one with Peter, maybe 15 minutes.
Okay.
District rate method. No, there'll be more than that. This is the connector district. Sorry. This is going to take some time. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of questions.
Yeah, I believe so.
Maybe we give, I don't know, 45 minutes.
Yeah, we do have plenty of time, it looks like.
Yeah. Well, let's do 45 minutes. So maybe the whole thing has an hour. I don't.
Okay. I'm going to just refresh this guy really quickly. Okay, so I have the 20 minutes and 45 minutes, and then 10-minute and 10-minute.
I think so, but that one's update on the backflow prevention. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
That's from our E. coli situation. No. Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Ooh, quite honestly, I don't know the answer to that one.
But yeah, I don't know what that is either, but it just reminds me of E. coli with the back.
It's probably related, but the E. coli was a different issue. But this is probably responding to concerns that could have impacted the rest of our system, which I haven't seen the presentation, but that's what I suspect it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Hopefully just 10 minutes for that. That's great.
Okay, good to move on.
Sure.
All right.
And then the proclamation probably is just going to be, I hope it'll only be 15 minutes. It's recognizing.
This is just part of our new proclamation process where you all review it and then if there's consensus to bring it forward on the next meeting. So.
Right. I would imagine it would take more than 10 to 15 minutes for that either. So.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. Kicking off October 18th, we have a study session for the overview of diversity, equity, and inclusion plan development. And that is our only study session for that night. Following that will be a framework agreement with LNR resolution.
I think that's going to be pushed back. The agreement isn't final yet, and it's my understanding they want to wait until after the November election to see what happens with the vote regarding EDDA.
That makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me just make a really quick note for that. Okay. We have recognition of Will Charles and Eric Sampson for passing the AICP exam, as well as the proclamation making October Planning Month.
If consensus to bring it forward, yep.
Yes. A motion for the award of contract for custodial services. Second reading for all 5 budget items. We only see one hanging out right here, but after this guy will be where the rest of them are at. So that then we have the second reading for the IGA for the Mile High Flood District with Little Dry Creek.
Can we take those one at a time? We know which ones can be on consent from last night, right?
Yes, we definitely can.
So Council Bill
So-
45 was unanimous. Actually, all of them were.
All
so-
of the budgets were 7-0, correct?
Yes, I think they all can go on consent. Byfield was the only one that needs to come back.
Mile High Flood District was 7-0. So yep, the only one is the Byfield.
Yep.
Perfect. So we'll have 45 in consent, 40 on consent, 42, which is Byfield, will not be on consent. We have the 2022 stormwater utility rate increase ordinance for a first reading. That will not be on consent.
Correct.
Yep.
Okay. And then that completes October 18th. And it looks like there are a couple of second readings that still need to be populated in by Maureen. She's probably working on those right now. So that's why you're not seeing all of those budget ordinances in there yet, but they will be in there.
And we will also, of course, have an ordinance for off-leash dogs to
Right.
amend municipal code. I think I'll put it in the section that requires dogs to be on leash and then provide an exception to that.
And that'll be ready to go, Tamara, for October 18th, first reading.
Yes, well, I'll draft it today.
Okay. Okay, yeah, Jade, that was just last night, so we haven't had a chance to get that in there.
No worries. I have that written down, so I'll make sure that I circle around back with you, Tamara, for that. Were there any other changes or updates for the 18th or?
We're also working on the ordinance approving the sale of the fire training facility. That's something we've been working on for a while. I just reached out to counsel for the other parties to ask if there's any other changes and if we're ready to go. So hopefully I'll be inputting that today or by the end of the week at least.
It's wonderful that way.
For the 18th.
But it may be too late for the 18th, depending on when I get a response from them.
Okay.
So if not the 18th, I suspect it will be the 1st of November.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you, Tamara. Moving on to October 25th, we have the September financial monthly report, as well as the training or the potential training for council chambers. And these are the only 2 items we currently have for this guy. And then it looks like we do have time for the financial review already in there. We do have this scheduled as like a 1-hour training. But I'm sure that will fluctuate the closer we get if we feel like we need more time or however that'll go. Moving on to November 1st, we have the study session memo for Code Next update, and then a study session for the E for Inglewood Environmental Foundation certificates of participation, redemption, and dissolution process.
I also anticipate that will be pushed back. I met with Mike Miller and Maria DeAndre yesterday. Mike is the counsel for EAF, and everything is kind of waiting on the November vote for EDDA because that will set into play the framework agreement and then dissolution of EAF and retirement of the certificates of participation. So
Okay.
I anticipate that will be after the vote as well.
Would you like me to go ahead and go ahead?
I
Mary?
think that's fine, but I heard from some council members that they wanted it before so that they were aware. But I don't know if that would change the vote or not. I don't know if it would have any impact. I'm fine with leaving it. I mean, of moving it to after we know what is exactly going on. But am I wrong in remembering that there were some members that really wanted it sooner than later, or am I thinking of something else?
I know they did want to discuss it, so we can retire the COPs either in November or in June. But based on our discussion yesterday, we jointly agreed that June for retirement may be the better option, given that we'll know then if the framework agreement is going forward. We'll know then if we do have a timeline for EAF dissolution, and so it's all related.
All right, I'm fine with moving it to, yeah, November, whatever it would be, probably that Monday of Thanksgiving week, right?
We'd have to do, since we are doing the council orientation on the 8th, we'd have to move it to the 15th.
Okay. That is a study session.
Wait, are we talking about EAF? Is that the one that we're moving to the 15th?
Yeah.
Yes. And do we want that, you know, with the old council, new council, that same discussion we had on some previous items?
I think you should move it to the following week after the 15th.
Okay, all right.
So you have the pleasure of all of the info and.
Yeah, 22nd. Okay, we could tentatively put that one down for 22nd. Jade, unless there's something kooky going on the 22nd.
Nope, I just had that guy updated, so I think we should be good to go. I'm gonna just refresh this page really quick so that way it'll populate in there so we can see if it fits in. Perfect. So before we go back down to that, are you guys okay with finishing out the rest of November 1st? Okay.
Yep.
Next up, we have a resolution for a memorandum of understanding between the city and Inglewood Downtown Development Authority. A public hearing for the 2022 budget supplemental for ARPA spending plan. It does look like this one is TBD, so I'm not sure if this guy will move or not.
It would make sense that it would.
Okay.
Right? Because you don't want to do a public hearing that day and then have two different councils vote on it, right? Or is it only?
No, I agree.
Agree.
Okay. We will plan on getting that guy moved, and I will follow up with Jackie about the next date that would work best. Next would be a motion to approve a contract with AEC West for supplemental building plan review and inspection services. A first reading ordinance amending municipal code regarding authorized public consumption areas. And that rounds out November 1st.
So there's a first reading for that, and then the second reading would span the two councils again. Is that possible, or is that allowed, or is it wise?
It's probably not wise. I currently on that matter, I'm working on the response to the council request regarding expansion or permanent expansion into the Duck Pond, Little Dry Creek. And I've worked with PD to get the number of calls in that area, and it's very high. So I won't be recommending we expand into that area. So I don't know. It may take more than a first and second reading.
Yeah, I would think so too. Could we have an update on it? Because yes, I have talked to a number of people, both who are working with people who are unhoused and the police, and everyone says, please don't do this.
Mm-hmm. And I'm meeting with Erica Zerke, owner of Inglewood Grand, on Thursday to discuss it as well. Okay. And it's after I meet with her, my response to the council request will be issued. There's been 280 calls in the last 12 months to that area by PD. Okay. And alcohol just exacerbates some of those issues.
Yeah, and I don't know where the info was that we did get info that night that we were talking about it, that there wasn't any concern about police calls, but it must not have included that, right? It's that we just didn't have a general, maybe people weren't thinking about that specific area.
Well, and I know Councilmember Anderson raised it. I think he was thinking once we redevelop that area, it would be nice to have the ability, I don't know, I picture the way he was describing it, families with a picnic and a bottle of wine or something like that. But that's not currently the atmosphere.
Yeah, no, not at all. It would be great once we have something like that, but yeah. Okay, great. So that's going to hold that up, and it'll go to the next council then, right?
Right. So I to that end, I'd prefer we have the first reading after the new council is installed, just so they're involved from the beginning.
Yep,
Okay,
right.
I'll go ahead and update that for November 15th then, Tamara.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome.
So
Moving
it
on to-
looks
Go ahead,
like
Bear.
on the first, what do we actually have?
Right.
So we have the motion for AAC West, resolution between the city and Inglewood Downtown Development Authority, as well as the Code Next update.
Okay, I think, yeah, I think there's enough. It'll be a short meeting.
Yep, and then we'll be moving the public hearing as well as the first reading. Yep.
All right. Well, on that one too. So there's 3 being moved.
So, just 2.
So it's 2. AEC West will still be on. And are there any second readings that are going to come back? From the week?
Yeah, so I'd
Yeah.
imagine we would have the off-leash dog second reading if we bring it for first reading on the 18th.
Oh,
as
yeah.
well.
And same with the fire training facility if that comes forward.
Okay, great. Be nice to get
and-
those next council. Okay, thanks.
Okay, moving on to November 8th, we have the City Council orientation. After that, we'll have November 15th. That'll include the walk and mill plan for study session, followed by a resolution for the consolidated fee schedule, resolution for acceptance of land dedication for the Colorado Department of Transportation. Moving on to the November 22nd meeting, this is where we moved the EAF study session for a dissolution. And then we also have the October financial monthly report. Then we move into December with the resolution for B City USA. And then a motion for the contract with MV Transportation for the Inglewood trolley operations. Then we're into December with the December 20th with the November monthly financial report. And then we go into January of 2022. January 10th will be the board and commission interview discussion. January 17th, we have a resolution for the appointments of those board and commission interviews. January 24th, we'll have a preliminary December financial report. And then all the way down to February, we have we have the public hearing for the walk and mill plan for February 7th. And then March 7th, we have the Inglewood trolley update and future planning. And that is all the items we currently have scheduled.
Wow, all the way to March. Good, it looks good. Do we see anything missing, Daniel?
No.
We added the dog ordinance, off-leash ordinance,
Mhm.
and then a lot on consent because it was 7-0 for all the budget items, so.
Yeah.
I can stay back.
I was gonna get the Steve Ward comment at the end, just the public right-of-way conversation, just that entire process. That was more, yeah, that was a study session item, so.
Right. What, I'm sorry, what were you asking?
No, so I said the one thing that's missing is just, we need to get on the calendar, the Steve Ward conversation, where just how do these permits get approved? Public right-of-way, just that whole conversation with not just telecommunications, but just about everything.
Right. Yeah, just what are the overall
Mhm.
ordinances we have on the books? What are state laws?
Right.
I reached
Yeah,
out
so
to
go ahead, Tamara.
I reached out to Shawn last night to coordinate that and start gathering the information to present that. I don't know if it will be ready by October 25th, but I know that's a pretty light agenda.
It sure is. So if you have it by then, that probably would be a good place to do it.
Okay.
But
And
if, then you might want to, yeah, might want to wait.
I had first written that down as a council request and then as a study session presentation. Does it need to be both or just the study session presentation?
Well, if, I think some people want to know pretty quick what's going on with the one particular site that was talked about last night. So if we could get any info on that, but then all the other stuff, let's put it, you know, that takes longer, put that together and let's do a study session so everybody understands it. Is that what you're thinking, Nathaniel?
Yeah, that was my initial thought.
Okay.
Does that make sense, Tamara, to you?
Yes.
Good. What else from last night?
That's all I had on my side.
Looking through. Yeah, I don't see any other. I think that was the major council request.
Yeah.
Which has already been started by Member Ward, right? I think you put one in last week.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, anything else this morning?
That's it
I
for
don't
me.
have anything.
I'm sorry, what?
I just said I don't have anything.
All right. Well, then this mayor manager meeting agenda setting is adjourned. It's 8:58 a.m. Have a great day, everybody.
Take
Thank
care,
you.
everyone.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye.